1 o'clock in the afternoon, but you have to really start closing down. And the reason we wait till 1, honestly, truthfully, we'd rather go 10:30, 11, because it's that miserable by the middle of the morning, is we want to feed the kids. That's the only reason we stay till 1. It's not because we're trying to, push the kids to the brink. It's because we want to get the kids fed before they come home. So yeah, probably anywhere from a day to 2. I got to go a little further with that, because with this, if this were to pass, and this is a fact, if this were to pass, our 3rd and 4th graders wouldn't have to get on a bus early to go to Logan for the transfer shuttles home. They could stay in their class. They could actually stay at school till 3. Logan stays in. Their bell rings at 3. Lincoln has to start loading buses at 2:40. That's 20 minutes a day. That equates to 8 days of instruction over the course of the year. 170. It's just 20 minutes times 174 divided by 60. It's literally just over 8 days of instruction that the 3rd and 4th graders lose because they have to. Now we're going to still have that problem with our pre-KK, but that's a better building to have that problem in because they're pre-KK. And 1st and 2nd, the older kids, we want more instructional time for, obviously.
Okay.
So you had another one.
Yeah, my other question is, I don't know if this is too preemptive, if you don't know this yet, but I spend most of my time in the car with the traffic situation, picking up and dropping off. So that was, my question is, with this traffic flow, in and out, and how do you flow around the building with buses and parents?
Good question. That's a huge question with parents and people who drive. So the intent would be at this site and other sites, possibly down the line with phase 2, like Jefferson. That's why I said that other property is important. You've just got to get buses and cars away from each other. The intent would be one of these drives, and it's conceptual, but this one shows that the north drive is just buses, and the south drive is just parents, right? And they can come in. This is the junior high end. They can be dropped off. The younger kids could be actually. I'm sorry, they'd have to come in this way because we're on curbside down here, right? And then it just flows out like this, and you can see there's a median here to keep car traffic away from each other too. So the intent would be to have cars come in, unload students curbside, make the circle. Now granted, they could go this way too if they wanted to, or if they want to go out to 6th Street, it's good. But that's hopefully the intent of these roads too, is to help, again, with that water, storm water, is to build those roads up with ditches, help that water run to where it needs to be. This is the district office currently. That is not intended to be torn down only because that's where literally we would keep our junk. I mean, that's just going to be, it's kind of a shed, that's what it is.
And a bus depot.
And a bus depot. Yeah. Just a place for us to really literally keep car seats and all the equipment that we need for our transportation and things like that. Because, and I can give you a tour of that too. It's we're cramped. We're very cramped there. And but that would remain because we feel like it's usable. So these roads may not be exact because it's conceptual, but there probably would be a road. So again, we want to keep buses away from each other or away from car traffic as best we can.
How many buses do you have in the fleet, and do you anticipate that increasing or staying the same?
Good question. We've actually diminished down to 17 buses. We partner with the high school, so potentially come down another 2 buses is what our hope is. To come down another 2 buses. And that honestly would leave us to 2 buses as backups, because we have those days where something happens on the morning route and or we need the boys basketball team to leave earlier, the girls track, there's just some logistics things that we got to have, like 1 to 2 buses available to us, and one breaks down, there's a trip somewhere, they're not getting back till 4, that kind of thing. Sarah?
Yeah, so these are a couple of questions. You may have actually mentioned this and I didn't hear it, but one was just about when you have that one campus, that campus, the population of the school, how many kids would be there in that 3 through 8? And the other is, I'm just thinking about the integration of the school in the community at that point. And there's a lot about how the cars will come in, the buses will come in, but would there be a plan to integrate the campus with sidewalks in and?
Yes.
Because that is really, I was thinking that perhaps, because now you're going to have families, you know, who might have a third grader and a sixth grader, and they might actually walk home together, or, well, I don't know,
Yeah.
or bicycle.
Just-
Because
I'm gonna-
even here at the library, I've complained for years, I guess this is partially from when we went to Bruce Street, there's only one sidewalk to get to the library. And I used to think, oh, you could walk from Lincoln School here, but you have to cross Peru and you're
Yeah.
7 years old.
We've already talked to the city about that actually, because they have safe sidewalks to school grants that we can help apply with. So we probably would do some of that would be part of the site improvements, sidewalks. Again, because it's conceptual, they're trying to show the stormwater detention, stuff like that. But potentially what we would do is bring a sidewalk, and these are detentions, so they drain. They're not as dangerous as a retention where it holds water. So the intent would be to extend this road that goes north to this road is actually blacktop, it doesn't look like that. But this is actually west of Liberty Village. We would tie into that, put a sidewalk along that, from the campus. Have crossing guards out here, just to keep it safe. Our people would be the crossing guards, because the police department actually hires the crossing guards that you see out in the community. But on campus, they would be ours. So yes, we would try to get them to a place where they could tie in into a city sidewalk.
Does the cost include all furnishings?
It does. It does. Basically what it does is it brings us, again, to a place where the furniture would be just more future ready or appropriate. It's more movable. Staff can move tables. Because again, the technology is in the classroom. So you don't need that corner over here for just technology. You want the technology to be able to take place everywhere. So kids being able to move, their desk, as opposed to what, we're basically using the same desk that many of you would be familiar with. This desk I sat in, similar. It's literally got to pick it up and move it, whereas this equipment would be, more compatible to moving without straining your back. So, Lindsay?
Weird.
I want to go back to a question I asked earlier.
Okay.
How much are you anticipating down the road from the capital fund?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I didn't answer that for you. So we applied in 2006, and at that time, there was an application for $10 million. Whether or not, so we don't know what we'll get, and so we're on that list still. We're hopeful that even if it was 60% of that,
We've been approved for 10 million.
that was it, the application.
Yeah.
But I've talked to some different sources down there. Now, granted, Peru got theirs actually pretty quick, and theirs came in and they got every bit of what they asked for. So, it would be hopeful. And so in that event, potentially some of that, if there was excess, it could be used to pay down bond. But not entirely certain what that amount will be until they actually send that money.
And is there any communication from the state as far as?
I've called them.
I'm sure you have.
That's it. I've called down there and said, okay, are we still on that list? Because I have the list. I mean, literally, I have the list with us on it. It shows us and the other school districts are on it. So I have that. I didn't bring it with me, but believe me, I have it. Because you start to doubt yourself. You start to look, okay, we are on the end. And then you go back 3 weeks later. We're on that, right?
After 12 years, you're still there.
Yeah, we're still there. In fact, I just talked to them. It's been in the last year I talked to them again.
Is there any administrative cost savings because of this building? Because we don't have as many principals. I assume that's only one principal for this.
Actually, no, Larry, there would not be. There still would be a need for some assistant principalships, because what's happening, and I think you guys will understand this, is we've diminished our administration down. From when I came in 1996 to where we're at now, we've gone from 8 administrators down to we're currently at 4 with an assistant. The reason we're not making guarantees there either is because we have a shifting population here, and the kids are becoming that much more dependent upon other services and things like that. primarily social work type stuff. And what we're experiencing is that too many times our social workers, because the principals are getting pulled in different directions to do family type issues, discipline, blah, blah, blah. Our social workers are having to kind of almost function sometimes as principals, and we don't want them to do that. So in order to, so we're not making, the savings would be probably more on the housekeeping, the custodial, the clerical, potentially the more administration. But the current population we have right now, I can tell you the administrative team is just very busy with trying to meet the needs of our families and our students. And we're not honestly happy with where we're at right now, because I think, you know, Deb, you could agree that our social workers are having to do way more on that side of administration than they should.
Okay, we're gonna wrap things up now, so Tim might have a few minutes to stick around if anybody had a question that they didn't get to ask, but thank everybody for.
Hey, squeeze one more in.
Okay, Larry.
You conveyed a lot of information here, Tim, and we all know you can preaching to the choir. There's just a lot of information to get out, and the environment we're in today, things have to be boiled down and simplified so much, and you hope you get everything into a soundbite. What do you feel about getting the message out? What you need to do and what you can do? And
That's a good thing too, because I would have forgot this too, I apologize. So what we're doing is, and I appreciate the recording, because I know you guys will do a good job of getting that out for us too, but what we're trying to make people aware of is the fact that we're posting everything on, we've got it on our website, which is up here, and I'm gonna leave these up here so you guys can take them and share them if you want, via your social media accounts, things like that, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then our website. So we taped our program our forum on Thursday night, we're posting it. You guys may know we're gonna post this, we'll try to share back and forth. That's how we're trying to get it out. It seems like the social media piece is the biggest, best way to do it. You know, we made these. The reason we didn't make a lot of the other stuff is because what our experience has been is that everybody leaves and nobody picks anything up. So we've really tried to be responsible even with that, just to give them their information. And then on the back is a comment. You know, tell us what you think, good, bad, or indifferent. And so that's kind of where we're at. We're trying to do it through social media purposes and through our forums and things like that. And the venues like this has been great. Cannot tell you how much we appreciate this. And I say that again on behalf of our board. This is just, when I got the call, I'm like, absolutely. We're trying to get to as many groups as we possibly can. Rotary, Optimist, the Farm Bureau, here, the radio stations. We're trying to get to anybody and everybody.
Who do we contact for yard signs and t-shirts for those interested?
So the referendum committee is responsible for that. So we are detached from that because again, we can't endorse the referendum. We can answer any and all questions, but that is Heather Meyer. And if we can give that contact information, I don't have it with me, but certainly anybody interested in
I
that side.
think if you go to the Facebook page for the group, there might be some information on there. I think they were looking at maybe doing a third order of signs because they've been.
And Larry, if Larry, you got it and you can share it, she'd be glad if you did. I know that.
Do we have something to write on the whiteboard? Is all right, phone number?
Well, I don't know that we do. I did want to make everybody aware, if you are interested in getting into the school buildings, or if you know somebody who would be interested in hearing this presentation and couldn't come today, the school district has 3 more forums set up: September 26th at Jefferson, October 2nd at Lincoln, and October 9th at Douglas. And so you get to tour the school as well as hearing about the project. And so we hope that we can encourage some more folks to go out to those forums as
We'd be
well.
grateful. And even if you wanted to literally come through during the day, we would accommodate that with our principals or other staff.
Union Voices would like to thank you very much. This has been very informative and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.